Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to our second episode of the Joseph's Ministry podcast. My name is Meagan Pinkney and I am your host for today. And it is my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for those who have reached out and have provided feedback to us from our first episode. It is much appreciated. Continue to like and share, subscribe to our page so that we can continue to grow our audience and just get the content out to the people. That's the main reason why we're doing this, is just to share more information about entrepreneurship and the various services and those areas and share that information with the general public. So thank you so much for your support. I know in our episode 1, we talked about a little bit about myself and my background and my journey to entrepreneurship and how Joseph's Ministry actually got started. So I want to continue that conversation about entrepreneurship. So many people have so many various definitions of entrepreneur and being an entrepreneur and how much work it actually entails. I think social media does what social media does, and it glamorizes entrepreneurship. Just to say I'm an entrepreneur, it's like you wear it as a badge of honor, but it is a lot of work. I was actually talking to someone recently, and they were like, yeah, I'm new, and I'm like, have you ever built anything before? And they were like, no, and they had an opportunity to partner with some people on a business, and they were like, I'm learning so much. And they were like, it's a lot of work. And I'm like, it is. So regardless of what industry you're in, being an entrepreneurship, you're taking the risk. You're taking ownership of the business. You're responsible for every single detail of that business. You're responsible for it. And when I became an entrepreneur, like I shared in the first episode, I still work a 9-to-5 job. And sometimes, we can get into the habit of just like printing personal things on the printer here and there, and I think we can get a little lax with that because we don't have to pay for the paper. We don't have to pay for the ink, so we don't even think about it, most people. But when I became an entrepreneur, I'm kind of like, nope, somebody paying for it. Somebody has to go order the paper. Somebody has to, have an expense account to actually pay to maintain a printer. So my whole mindset shifted just because I became an entrepreneur, and I began to understand every little thing matters. Everything. We buy supplies, pens, papers, folders for the job. You take the pen and you take it to the house. Now you're down one pen that you needed at the job. I mean, every little thing, it matters, and you're responsible for it. When I had to, buy a printer, for Joseph's Ministry, ink is expensive, and we don't have the huge, copy machines that we do have at the job, but 3-4 trays of paper. I mean, it's just a little Canon, printer, but it's like ink is expensive. So you're thinking about all those things, but entrepreneurship, it's a beautiful thing. I've enjoyed so much the process of learning, lessons learned, having trials and errors, and just going through the process. That's just life, like going through the process and learning it. But today I want to share some information. I actually wrote an ebook a couple of years ago called The 5 S's of Entrepreneurship. And, if you're wanting to support and purchase that ebook, definitely you can go on our resource page on our Joseph's Ministry website at www.josephsministryllc.com to look more into it and have an instant download of the information. But I want to give an overview of some of the topics that I believe are the 5 S's of entrepreneurship. I didn't Google this. This is my writing, my journey, and what I believe, and the things that I personally have done to make my journey of entrepreneurship a success outside of prayer, outside of being the will of God, all that good stuff. But, certain things that I have to do, not just one time, but consistently do to maintain this entrepreneur journey and having a successful business that actually lends fruit for people to come and eat off of, if that makes sense. So when I'm thinking about the 5 S's of entrepreneurship, I want to give an overview of this. So I want you guys to get your pen and paper out and just really flow with me tonight. Okay. And the first S for me is sow, SOW. So when I say sow, sowing seed. So that's more like a churchy and biblical terminology. But when I say sow, I am directly talking about sowing seed into a business that you look up to. What we would call a business that is good ground. Okay. You said, man, business company XYZ LLC, man, they are really flourishing. I've watched their journey. I have seen where God has brought them from here to here. They're really being a blessing to the people. They provide quality work. Man, I really admire them, and I want to help them continue to do what they do. But I want to sow seed from my company to your company. I'm sowing into good ground. So when I think about entrepreneurship, I said something at our last episode, like how you live your life will directly reflect how you operate in your business dealings. I sow seed regularly. I'm talking about Meagan, just in life. I'm not talking about $2 million. And you can sow seed in your time, your talent, of course, your resources, your money, but sowing seed into good ground on behalf of, what you want. Okay. So there's a scripture in Galatians 6, starting at verse 7. It says, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap everlasting life." So if you want something, like I said before, if you want something, those qualities, those characteristics, those good qualities and good characteristics of business X, Y, and Z LLC, and you're like, man, I want to sow into that good ground so that I can reap those same characteristics, that's what I'm doing. So I have over the years sown, again, that's a part of our grant foundation, okay? Strategy. So we're not just giving money away to just random organizations just to say we gave away money, right? We're very strategic. That's sowing seed every quarter, every year, and it increases every year. That's my heart. But guess what? We're able to increase. I'm not paying out of pocket for anything with Joseph's ministry. I have never paid out of pocket, out of my personal funds, to fund anything with Joseph's ministry. It is a self-sustaining, self-managed business. It is a legitimate business. It's not a hobby. Okay. And for the fact that we can increase our grant foundation every year, and I have a goal of what I want to reach, but you got to start where you are. Right? A lot of people don't even start because they don't have that goal, but it's like, start where you are. And I'm, by faith in it, increasing it every year, believing that we're going to be sowing into good ground, and we're always going to have more than enough to be able to keep on sowing. And it's a sowing and a reaping. We're sowing into good ground. We're sowing into Christ-centered organizations, and we're expecting to reap financial good quality clients and have great success and have a great experience. And we have done that for many years. We're sowing into good ground. So that's the first S that I would tell you, is to, have that sacrifice and sow. I'm not asking for money. That's not what we're doing. But I'm just saying this is an S that I have used over my entrepreneur journey, just again to be a blessing to other people, because you don't know what people are praying for and what their actual need is. But it's like, man, I want something more than I have right now, and I want to sow into that. Now you gotta be careful, because I did say sow into businesses that you look up to that are good ground. So don't just sow into a business because that's your cousin. Don't just sow into a business because whatever reason, right? You want to make sure that you're sowing into good ground. Those who do have the integrity, the characteristics, the qualities, the excellence that you're pursuing in your business, because that makes a difference. 99.99999%. I hesitate to say 100, but 99.999% of our clients are repeat clients, and it's based off of word of mouth. Now, that's amazing. Okay, so we haven't spent any money on marketing or sponsored ads on Facebook or anything like that for 10 years. Word of mouth. Why is it word of mouth? Because when you do good to people, they will tell. They will hey, go to Joseph's. Now, I'm not saying we're perfect. Okay, go to Joseph's ministry. Man, you know, they understood the assignment. You know, they treated me well. And I believe they'll do the same for you. Here's their contact information. We had so many people that were repeat clients over the years. So we decided to say, you know what? We want to thank those clients for coming back over and over again, but thank them so much so that they keep sending people to us. We created a referral program saying that, hey, if you refer anybody, they don't have to be a client. If you refer anybody to Joseph's ministry, we'll pay you up to $50. Once that person, you know, finishes the service, pays their invoice, you know, we'll pay you up to $50 based off, you know, depending on what service they came to us with. That's how much I'm grateful for you. Again, sowing seeds. That's no strings attached. This is just a thank you from me to you. So we're always constantly sowing seeds, but we're also constantly reaping new clients, right? So it's a reaping and a sowing type of situation. So that's the first S. When I think about the second S, when we're thinking about the 5 S's of entrepreneurship, for me, the second S is serve. What does that mean? Serve someone else's vision with your time and with your talents. You have no idea how much I have served someone else's vision. It could be sitting on the board for a nonprofit, done that. For whatever reason, I was on 3 boards at one time. I don't recommend that. This is not a badge of honor. Don't do that. But my heart is to serve. I wanted to give back, but I learned so much more about nonprofits, the ins and outs, and how to run it. So if we're going to be helping people start nonprofits, even though I have personally started nonprofits and function in that, but I wanted to learn even more to be able to be a blessing even more to our clients that come to us, right? But serve someone else's vision. So if you have an opportunity to sit on the board of a nonprofit, please do so. It's an amazing opportunity. We can give you recommendations on some organizations that I've been a part of that are simply amazing. Love the vision. Okay. Serve the vision too. You got to make sure that you don't want to just pick some random nonprofit, but, you know, understand the vision and the mission of the organization. And you say, you know what? I can get behind that. I want to support that mission and that vision. So serve somebody else's stuff. A lot of times, you know, we want to gimme, come help me, but you don't want to help anybody else. So we want to make sure that to be a successful entrepreneur, again, from my journey, some of the things that I've learned, I've had to learn to serve other people's visions, to help them succeed, to help them go to the next level, to help them, you know, with my time. Maybe opportunities, a lot of times the opportunities that I was able to serve in, I didn't get compensation. So that shows your motive, right? That shows your motivation behind serving. So it's not to get a paycheck, right? But it's simply to serve with your time and with your talent. Hey, maybe I'm very good at administration things, but I know a company could be an LLC, for-profit, nonprofit, whatever. It could be a church. It could be whatever. Okay. I'm really good at that. And they really need help with that. Hey, why don't you serve? Why don't you volunteer? Give a couple of hours a week or a month to be able to help them further their mission and their vision in the earth. It won't kill you. And you'll be surprised. You'll actually enjoy it. You'll actually enjoy helping someone else. It is better to give than it is to receive. So you'll find it a delight to your heart to be able to serve another person's vision and a mission. So in addition to sow seeds, serving is also another way of giving. So our first two S's, we talk about entrepreneurship. We're thinking about, we're thinking again, entrepreneurship, working, serving, getting on that grind. The first two S's I've said is giving away stuff. We're giving. Again, this is a strategy. This is a principle. It's very intentional. It may not be the first thing that people think about when we're thinking about entrepreneurship. Again, some of us are just starting off. We need all the help we can get, right? But if you need help, look at someone else's business and say, hey, they're a startup as well. They're a startup company. Let me help them. Let me volunteer my time over there. And I guarantee you sowing your time, you serving, and you're giving up your talents, it will reap. You will reap help in your own business. I guarantee you, I am a living testimony. If you just not be, we can't be selfish. We can't just be thinking about, me and my four and no more. That's not the type of life and business mindset that we want. We need the collaboration. Whether you realize it or not, we need collaborations just to make it an entrepreneurs. We have companies that we've partnered with as far as referrals. So certain things, again, I talked about staying in our lane. We don't do everything. But we've partnered with like-minded, excellent, integrous businesses that do a certain thing. And we can honestly and comfortably refer our clients in these areas. It's like, hey, go to this company. We have vetted them. We can trust them. We trust them with you. I don't personally refer anybody if I have not personally vetted them. So it is important for us to have these collaborations, one, to help our people, to help clients get to their next level. That's our sole mission here at Joseph's Ministry LLC, is to help businesses and individuals get to their next level by any means necessary. Whether we are physically doing the work ourselves or we know an organization or a business that does that. But that's what we do. So you need the collaboration. So we're talking about sowing seeds. We're talking about service. You don't think someone would want to partner with you because you've given up your time, you've given up your talent? It's a strategy, but it will attract exactly what you need. And that's just a heart posture. And those are just two of the S's that I have used and continually use on my entrepreneur journey. I have a heart to serve, so I love to help other people, hence the reason why we started a company, to help people. But, we have to really change our mindset about business, change our mindset about entrepreneur. I see so many things on social media, so many things on just content that people put out, and they just so gimme. But if we really flip it around and say, hey, I want to give back to you. I promise you, my own testimony, it will, whatever you need will come back to you at the right time. So I'm going to continue to share the remaining S's, what I would call the 5 S's of entrepreneur, as we continue our podcast in the coming months. But thank you so much for joining me on today. I look forward to sharing more content with you. Look out for some possible special guests that are going to talk to us again more about business and looking at business from a different perspective, because I think that's what's needed in the earth today. Not just doing business as usual, but if we want something different, we got to do something different. So I'm just telling you my experience from my own personal journey, things that have worked for me that I believe that they'll work for you too. So until we meet again next Thursday, next month, first Thursday of every month. Talk to you soon.